Hey there, my name is Veritech, and this is How to Overwatch For Beginners, a series focused on helping players build a good foundation of habits to improve their play within the game. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down Lucio. Let's go ahead and do a basic rundown of his abilities so you know what you're working with. Sonic Amplifier is his primary fire. It fires a slow-moving, 4-round burst. It's perfect for laying down supplemental damage from behind tanks. Lucio can also fire a knockback blast with his right mouse button, perfect for pushing enemies off of environment in the level, like ledges and walls, and can also be used to save a teammate in trouble. Crossfade is his shift key ability. It provides one of two auras, one move speed buff and one passive AoE healing buff. Amp It Up is his E key, and it increases the area of effect for his crossfade, providing an additional boost of move speed or faster passive healing, depending on which aura is active. His ultimate is Sound Barrier, or the Q key. It provides a large decaying shield for allies, and it's great for countering enemy ultimates and damage bursts. Now, as a basic overview of the support role for the game's healers, remember, you are there to keep your teammates safe. Your health bar is essentially an extension of your tank and your main damage dealer's health. Think of it as their armor or shield. There is actually an end of match card devoted to percentage of team damage soaked. That means it's a good thing. If you die, but your team captured an objective and picked up kills, then you did your job. Don't expect many kills until you get closer to mastering a support character. Now, how to Lucio for beginners. He's very mobile. Use that to your advantage. If you see a teammate in trouble, don't be afraid to step in front of them and take a few shots of damage. Again, your health bar is an extension of their health bar. That being said, stick with your tank and main group of teammates, if at all possible. If you see a teammate off on their own and they're getting torn apart, it's okay to let them die. It's better to lose one and keep the 5 of you alive than to chase down a wounded teammate and potentially get yourself killed and leave your tank and main damage dealers without healing. Use the safety of a tank's shielding to fire shots in the direction of enemies. You don't have to see them, you're not there to do tons of damage. It's more for additional suppressing fire. You're there to heal, and if you can keep an enemy moving backward and facing away from you, they're doing 0 damage while they retreat. This is the same as healing, it just doesn't show up in stats. Use your alternate fire, your right mouse button, to knock enemies around in close quarters, and use the environment of a level to your advantage. Cliffs and walls in Nepal, Ilios, and Lijiang around the control points. This skill excels on those maps. It can also be used to save a teammate in trouble. If you can get to a separated teammate without breaking the golden rule of stick with your tank, then do it. I've saved many team members from a Mei or Reinhardt utilizing my alternate fire. It's a powerful anti-enemy tool. Use the environment as natural cover, whether it be juking behind the payload or running behind a wall. And again, remember, it's okay to die in support of your team, but you can avoid a death, and that's the best outcome. And now, the 2 hardest parts about Lucio. The first one, his crossfade aura. Ground rules for beginners: if you're moving with your team or moving back to an objective, have the move speed buff up. As soon as you see an enemy, switch to healing. As soon as a teammate takes damage and you have move speed active, shift to healing. If there are any red names in health bars, have that healing aura up. Healing, healing, healing. Lucio doesn't heal hard, but he heals constant. Use it to your advantage. Most of the time, you don't need move speed in a team fight or to camp a control point. Moral of the story: move speed when safe, healing when on objectives, and any time there's an enemy sighted or your team has taken damage. Now, my personal choice on when to use Amp It Up: I rarely use it when respawning because of the cooldown. Most respawn points are within a distance from a map objective that the cooldown will still be down when I reach my team. I would prefer to have it available to heal my team up quickly when I arrive back to them, rather than pop it for faster move speed at the beginning. Also, the ground rules for using Amp It Up when engaged in a team fight: if you see a tank take damage, activate it. If you see an out of position Reaper take damage, activate it. If any teammate takes damage in a team fight, activate it. It's better to have it at the beginning of a team fight and use it early so everyone is getting the bonus healing, rather than 2 team members die and then you use it so you're only getting half the healing efficiency from it. Condensed version: Crossfade on heals when enemies are around. Use E-heals early and often in team fights when members take damage. Now, the second how-to for Lucio: sound barrier usage. It's sometimes difficult to know when to use it. Sound barrier is an incredibly powerful ultimate ability, but due to its decay after use, you need to know when to use it. It works best when an enemy burns their ultimate. Hanzo shot his dragon arrow, and it's going to hit 3 of you. Break it down. Zarya caught you in a graviton surge. Oh, it's about to go down. Using sound barrier at the correct time can mean the difference between getting wiped and countering the opponent's ultimate and potentially turning a team fight into an easy win for you. It's the perfect counter to large bursts of damage, so don't worry about holding onto it too long. You'll almost feel when it's the perfect time to use it. Also, don't be afraid to use it in close quarter maps where you're constantly dealing and taking damage. If you see a Reaper going for a Death Blossom on the server room of Lijiang, cast Sound Barrier to provide him a better chance of getting out if he botches his positioning, or just takes too much damage. So, to conclude, Lucio is the best all-around team healer. He is essentially the raid healer in Overwatch. He is highly mobile and has a really synergistic skill kit that works well in almost any team composition. The hardest part about figuring him out, his Crossfade auras, is really very easy when simplified. Keep the heals up when the enemy is around, dubstep gun the opponent off of ledges when they're out of position, stick close to your tanks, and don't be afraid to die to win. Sound Barrier saves lives, wins team fights, and can sometimes single-handedly change the outcome of a round in a match. Keep it simple, focus on healing, and counter-positioning against the opponent, and ride the music to some easy wins. Again, my name is Veritech. If you feel this was helpful to you, feel free to like and subscribe, and be sure to tune in to my live stream daily for some live application of what I've just shared. You can also follow me on Twitter at VeritechGG, so you'll be notified the minute I go live each day. We'll see you on the field of battle, and remember, the world could always use more heroes, so keep your team alive.
Can't stop, won't stop. I could do this all day.